Welcome to another episode of Stuck in the Middle podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Uncle AK.
And I'm Reflex. Hey, this is episode what, 79?
79, I believe.
Damn, we get when we get to episode 100, we should just drop that episode count and just.
Fair enough. I'm with it.
Yeah, man. Welcome to all the listeners and watchers. We really appreciate it. Please tell people, your friends on social media about the podcast. It really helps us. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, subscribe. Same thing on Google Play or iTunes. Mm-hmm. It really helps us, get the cloud out there. We cloud chasers. I'm just kidding. But yeah, Stuck in the Middle podcast is sponsored by advertising. This episode is brought to you in partnership with Perfect Office Solutions, providing office space, affordable, professional, flexible private office space to entrepreneurs. So it's starting at just $4.99. If you let them know we sent you, Stuck in the Middle podcast, promo code SITM podcast, you get 10% off. That's a good deal. Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. We got a special guest in the building, bro.
Yep.
Hey, I'm really excited for this one. We hyped it up last week, and it's legitimate hype. And I'm just gonna get right into it, man. She is the founder of, she's the founder of the Urban Chic. Had to correct me on that one.
Yeah,
the Urban Chic chef, and the executive director of Black Girls Cook, a nonprofit organization that teaches inner city teen girls the importance of food preparation, cooking, food hygiene, and healthy eating.
Yes.
Welcome,
Thank
Nichole
you for having me.
Mooney on Stuck in the Middle podcast,
Finally here.
Finally here. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Little sun outside, and you whipped out the white pants. What I'm saying? After that whole rainy week, bro.
Yeah.
Would you get a
t-shirt too?
Yeah.
Yes, gotta always represent the brand.
Definitely.
Gotta always represent. What is Black Girls Cook? What is that?
So Black Girls Cook, I started that actually after working with a charter school in Harlem about 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And the whole idea behind it was me giving back to the community. Like, culinary is my passion. So I wanted to share my talents with other girls of color. Culinary, as you know, is a very male-dominated industry. Mm-hmm. So I don't expect the girls that come through my program to want to be like the next top chef or the next baker. I want them to, one, have life skills that help them become mature, responsible women. And along the way, if they decide that they want to have their own restaurant or have their own spice boutique, whatever the case may be, they know that it's attainable because there's other women who have already done so that look like them. And we recently just opened our own garden. So in addition to us teaching girls healthy and cooking in a class, in the fall, we do have our own garden now. So they're learning the true meaning of farm to table. So they're growing their own harvest, and then in return, they're actually cooking it as well. So
wow, that's great.
It's really, really fun.
Before we go too far, for those who don't know who Nichole is, how would you describe yourself?
Nichole is very determined, very passionate. The sky's the limit. I moved back to Baltimore 4 years ago after being in New York and Miami for a few years. Mm-hmm. So I'm always the type of person that's like, okay, I want to do this, and nothing's going to stop me from doing so. So I'm very determined.
Go getter.
Yes, of course. You have to be.
You grew up in Baltimore.
I grew up in Baltimore.
What sparked that, love for cooking or for culinary and love for, hygiene and everything like that?
I would say just everyday vibes. You'll see your grandmother or your mother, whoever the case may be, cooking, and you pick up on it. It's something that it's like a lost art now. Mm-hmm. You will always see someone in the kitchen cooking, and you'll just help out and you pick up things. And then I also love entertaining. So you have to have food to entertain and all that good stuff. So that's what really sparked the interest for me.
They say the way to man's heart is to his stomach.
That's a lie.
I was gonna say I concur.
I don't know. It's so many female chefs that I know that are single and that's a lie.
They ain't cooking it right, man.
They're cooking it right. I know a lot of talented women, both bakers and savory chefs who, for some reason, we just can't get it right. So
dang.
All right, I take my statement back there.
You would not shout out my childhood. I still think that's true, but I find it surprising because you said it's a male dominated field.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Where I'm just gonna, and this is facts. Where I'm from. Mm-hmm. And this is not no thing of sexism. It's just the woman spends more time in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. I love doing dishes.
Yeah.
And I think that's why girls love me for that because you can cook. I come do the dishes.
Your dishes.
But like, how is that? How is that? I just find that surprising. It's a male.
I mean, it's a male-dominated industry. For the simple fact, if you look at a lot of the top chefs, they're all white male. Let's get it right. As far as like females that I've seen, like in elementary school up to like college, I've always seen a black lunch lady. It was never no woman that had that type of level. They didn't dominate the kitchen. They were just like the help. And I think that's something that we've really got to get out of the mindset. Like women can really do it all, and just don't look at us as being like the help in the kitchen, the lunch lady in the cafeteria. Like women can really execute and run a kitchen if they really get the opportunity to do so.
Right. Prior to, doing Black Girls Cook, what were you doing before that?
Before that, I was slaving, working in the hospitality industry. I worked in hotels for a few years, doing mainly events and catered sales. So I got to see that aspect of it as well. I wasn't hands-on in the kitchen, but I was interacting with that, the kitchen and banquets department on a regular basis. So from that mindset, when I decided I wanted to start doing my own personal chef business, I was like, I'm not doing any large events, 30 people or below. I love intimate settings, intimate gatherings. So yeah, that's what I did beforehand.
Talk a little bit about the growth, starting it to where it is right now.
It's been a huge growth. When I first started, it was more like a pilot project. When I lived in, I was living in the Bronx at that time, and someone gave me, this was like 2014, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, 2014. And with volunteering with another organization, someone who I had met was able to give me like seed money to do a pilot project. So initially when I started it, it was all me. I did the curriculum, I taught everything, and which was a lot, but it gave me the opportunity to see, okay, outside of just cooking, the girls are coming because it's an outlet for them. A lot of the girls were dealing with bullying and low self-esteem issues. It was a lot of other things outside of cooking that I really didn't think that they was trying to like get away from. So from that, when I moved back to Baltimore, I was still doing it on my own, which was hard because I had to scout a place for us to have a kitchen, again, updating a curriculum, recruiting the girls, making sure like everything was intact. So fast forward to now, I have amazing people who work with me. I have a girl named Keisha that helps run my life skills session. Just pretty much she recruits other professionals to come out and teach girls different things, ranging from like budgeting or STEM program, investing. Chef Hillary, she is like dope. She helps me in the kitchen, and she's also has a green thumb, so she's been like spearheading the urban gardening program. Christine, she does all my social media, so if anybody follow us on Black Girls Cook Inc., she handles all the Facebook and Instagram, which really grew our numbers and really have like content that's really like
branded, and
it's branded and it's focused, and we highlight a lot of women of color in the culinary industry across the country. So it's like you may never know, okay, this is a black owned female business without like us pushing that forward. And then I have someone named Christina that helps me with a lot of the events. So I wouldn't have thought now in 2018 that I would have this much help. And it's like as the more sessions I do, more parents get more involved and they start helping more and getting the name out. And I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen in the next 4 years.
So why is cooking and urban gardening important for inner city black girls?
The main thing, it mainly came about last year. We did a life skills field trip to one of the urban gardens in Baltimore City, and it was eye-opening for the girls and their parents because they didn't know that opportunity was in the city. They didn't know that around the corner from their home, it was someone planting tomatoes and cucumbers and fresh herbs, all of the stuff that they would go to Giant or Safeway and buy every day, that they can buy literally in that backyard and pay like half the cost.
Right.
And the girls really loved it. So from that, I was okay, we need to do something with this. And for me, for budgeting wise, I spend a lot of money on the cooking program itself in the grocery store, buying stuff that we can just buy ourselves. So that's pretty much where it came from. And again, it's life skills that they wouldn't ever get outside of being in the program. And hopefully they'll take that skill set. They may grow some things at home, and then in the future they may decide that they want to do their own garden, or at least they have an appreciation of how things get to that table now.
Right. Would you say this program is just cooking itself, or are they different entities combined in it? For example, life skills,
Yeah.
social skills, financial skills, and all whatnot. Like, what say you to that?
I mean, it's a lot. Like the way that the structure is, for instance, our fall program is 6 weeks. The girls are in the program from 9 to 1 every Saturday. The first hour, like I said, we have life skills. So someone comes in and teach them something that they will need to know to become a responsible young woman. Then they'll get into the kitchen. At first, I used to be the chef that was in the kitchen teaching the recipes. Now I have chefs from all over the area, DC, Maryland, Virginia, and other cities who want to come take over the kitchen and teach the girls some type of recipe. That's how they cook. So I really have a lot of help in that aspect. And like you just said, it's more than just cooking. I have girls with all different type of health issues, self-esteem issues that once a week they forget about that. They're around girls who have a same mindset as them, and they're learning something. They're having a great time with it. So yeah, it's definitely more than just cooking.
So what's the difference between urban agriculture and community gardening, homesteading, and subsistence farming? Like this, I've not heard of some of these words. Like, what's the
haven't
difference?
either. Look, I don't have the green thumb. I saw the idea. One of my mentors told me a long time ago, if there's something that you really want to get into and you don't know, you always recruit people who have that mindset and that background. So that's what I've done. I have someone who's urban gardens in her own backyard, and we've reached out to other people in the area who has that green thumb. So this is like, I'm learning as I'm going along as well.
Right.
Like I'm just in the same level as the girls. I'm just trying to bring that to the forefront from them and trying to get the skills, the resources they need for all of us to learn. And
that's the power of teamwork.
benefit
You know what I
from
mean?
it.
Like
Yes.
in that this organization that you've built, like I feel like that's the power of it. You know, bringing people from, all different, professions and building these young girls up into something that's monumental.
I mean, again, it's a lost art. When I was in elementary school, we had cooking and home ec. I don't think it even exists anymore.
I doubt it.
And then
is farming a lost profession?
It's not a lost profession. I just don't think that a lot of people of color really think it's something that they should be concerned about. If you go to the farmers markets on Sundays, or whatever the case, wherever day of the week you may go, you probably primarily see a lot of non-people of color gardening and farming and all of that stuff. But realistically, that's something that we've grown up doing from back in the day. So it's just something that we don't do anymore.
Do you think politics and how America is structured these days, do you think that has something to play in the minds of people of color in how to run the agricultural industry and stuff?
I think it definitely does. Exactly how it plays a part, like on a long scale of it. Even with like the stores, the pricing of stuff, like just like I said before, growing fresh herbs costs much of nothing. We went to the market 2 weeks ago near Silburn and brought cilantro and sage and all of that stuff for $2. Put it in the dirt and it's flourishing. You go to other stores like Whole Foods and it's like $6-7. It's like, why?
Right.
It's the same exact thing. You just buy the exact same stuff, get the best organic soil to make sure that it's nice and fresh, and then you have that problem. But I think a lot of politics and stuff get into it, and people that they don't really think about it, they may start blocking it out, and then people just have tunnel vision, and it's like
they just had the farm bill.
art.
The farm bill this past week that failed in the Congress, and a lot of people that probably don't know what that is, but it directly affects everything that we're talking about right now. But you packed up and you was like, man, deuces, corporate America. I want to go back to that. You know what I mean? Like, and what was the first thing that you turned to, and what got you to that place where it's like, yo, corporate America?
I always laugh because I was working at a luxury property in DC, and I was really burnt out because I was in management and I really didn't have a life. You would have your typical 9 to 5 hours, but then if you had a client that had an early breakfast meeting, I had to be there 2 hours early. And if that night someone had a reception dinner or something, I had to stay later. So that was my life. And I always laugh. You ever seen a movie Eat, Pray, Love with Julia Roberts?
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, yeah.
So I had my Eat, Pray, Love moment, and I was like, I'm leaving DC, I'm ending this relationship, and I'm moving to New York. And that's what happened.
A personal relationship or just corporate America relationship?
Everything.
Hey, you had it.
I was out of here.
Yeah.
That's like a
He was
total-
gone, so was the job, an apartment. And I went to go pursue my dream
In New York.
in New York.
Do you
Have
think
no
that's
regrets.
well, at that point, like when you think back, do you think that was savage of you to do? Or
He was savage, bro.
I mean, it wasn't like I just rolled out in the middle of the night. Like it was something that built up over time. Like you communicate about stuff, you say how you feel. You may not agree with it.
Did he
but
support your dream? Yeah.
it didn't matter at that point. I supported yours, so it should be reciprocal.
right.
Yeah. Don't want to focus too much on that. Would you have done that today? As far as like, you know, that culinary, you going to pursue this? Would you do that today? Same
Yeah,
thing.
because I mean, if I didn't take that step and move there, and then that was a whole nother story as well once I got there. But had I never done that, I wouldn't be here talking to you about Black Girls Cook.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like everything stemmed from one thing. I moved to New York to pursue culinary school. When I got there, that was like $1,000 a day. I'm like, okay, we're not doing this. So I wound up interning and working with other chefs to get more hands-on experience, which led me to working with another chef who had his own culinary program, which gave me the idea of Black Girls Cook. So everything like transpired from that opportunity of being savage.
So it's a male dominated field as far as culinary, and on top of that, a white male dominated field. You know, women are double minority. And what other struggles are there that you've encountered or that in the industry that just is that people need to know about and that you face and overcome?
To make that sound better.
Thank you.
To make that sound better, there's that point in time. There was that point in time when you felt like this is not it. I mean, you felt like, what am I doing? Like, am I really wasting my time doing this? You felt like throwing in the towel. Like, speak of that moment and how you managed to, pull yourself out of that.
I would say it's twofold. For one, when I moved back here 4 years ago, I wanted to still do the personal chef aspect of what I was initially doing, but the business set was different. Like in New York, people wanted to do cocktail parties and cooking classes and all of that. Excuse me. In this area, a lot of the people, they like meal prep, which it's cool.
It's a ton of people, man.
But it's a lot of work. Like, and for me, the creativity is lost because I'm doing all of these servings for a whole week, and it's repetitive. Getting up, go to the store in the morning, getting all these groceries, prepping everything, cooking everything, being on my feet all day. And so I'm like, this is not really what I want to do because I'm not getting able to be creative with what I really want to do as far as like food presentation wise. As far as Black Girls Cook, I think one of the hardest things is for any nonprofit organization is finding consistent funding. When it comes to the grant writing, which is very, very tedious, and you do all this research and get all this paperwork together, and then you get rejection letter after rejection letter, at some point you do get kind of like, okay, maybe I don't know what's going on. But if you're really passionate about something, like I have been, I didn't let it stop me. If it was something I needed to cover, I pay for out of pocket. But as the program is growing and getting more people involved, I'm like, I can't keep paying for this out of pocket. So luckily, I have been getting people. It was like, oh, well, I'll cover the cost of another girl, or somebody will just like donate. I get a lot of donations from people, which is great, which is really, really help stuff. And I also had one of my girls' dads recently say that, hey, I have somebody on my team that can help with the grant writing. So I think the more people see you, like, you really never know who's watching you. So I've been very appreciative of any of the opportunities I've gotten in the main, like even being here, like this is dope.
Yeah.
Wait, you mentioned that. I was trying to look to see if dang, this is so bad. And please forgive me. I'm horrible with names, man. This is just bad. And we had 2 episodes ago. I feel like we're gonna, and this is the dope thing about Stuck in the Middle podcast is, saying, putting people hip to what's really out there. Got somebody I want to put you with that like she talked about the government looking for people like you. You know what I mean, to fund these things. I don't know if that's something you're interested in.
Yeah.
Dang, what was her name, man? I'm trying.
Sheila.
Just ask him.
I was trying not to, what I'm saying?
Look off
She
the wall.
she might. People might watch this and be like, dang, you forgot.
Oh, Sheila.
Wow.
Yeah, put you through with Sheila, you know what I mean? Get some, because this is dope, you know what I'm saying? Get some bag flowing into Black Girls Cook. And,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Put this thing out there, fam, because I feel like we need this in the community. Especially, you know what I'm saying, Baltimore. We talk to Nick, the nutritionist, and there's a lot of food deserts and stuff like
It
that.
is.
Yeah. Speak on that, yeah.
Just driving down the city, you will see there's a Bell's Bomb Inn, a liquor store in every corner. When it comes to like a resource of great food opportunities, it's not. Like I remember I lived in New York, The closest grocery store to me, one, I'd always look at the produce because it'd be packaged and you can look at it, you can see that it's molded. I'm like, okay, you really have this out molded. And I think the craziest thing about this grocery store that still freaks me out today is, you know how you go to the hospital and they give you like that little pink basin? They had a pink basin with ice and had shrimp in it. There's no seafood department. But I mean, that's what they're giving to the people in Harlem, because you got to go midtown to buy stuff from like the most popular grocery stores, but like the little trendy ones like that. That's what it is. Or go to the bodega. So it's like, whatever city you're in, if you look at the predominantly black or brown communities, we don't have a lot of options. You have to really go outside of your neighborhood to get that.
Dang, yeah. Are you vegan?
No.
Is that a thing that people should look into?
I'm not a vegan. I did vegan for the month of March.
How was that?
It wasn't bad because I already don't eat beef or pork, and I really can't do dairy. It's not gas. It's more of like me having a lot of sinus problems. I think for some people it's a good option, but for others I think it may be just like a trend.
Yeah.
And then you have to really research. That's the one thing that Neck is really good about. Like, people don't realize, like, if you cut something out, your body is going to be deprived of other things, and then you start having health issues, and you don't know why because you decided to cut something out. So I think like any type of lifestyle choice you make as far as your diet, definitely like do the research on it. Make sure, okay, if I take this out of my diet, what do I need to substitute it to make sure I don't have any type of major health issues.
Right. You accept donations, right?
Yes.
What's the website for people?
Blackgirlscook.org.
She's stepping the mic for that. Black girls. I'm just kidding. Let me ask you this, yeah? You mentioned, so you really want to get into food presentation and things like that. So why do you, I don't know if you've done this, gone to the, you actually were on Chopped.
I did a commercial.
Yeah, you did a commercial. So why have you looked at that route as far as like TV network and food presentation, things like that?
At one point in life, I wanted to get into food photography and food styling. But that's like a type of industry where there's not many people that's in it. So I really would have to jump out there and just like go for it myself. So at some point I really want to. I just you eat with your eyes, and I love how food can look like a work of art. Definitely need to taste like it as well.
It smell like it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got all the senses. So when you see something, you really don't like, okay, that smell was good, but it looks like crap. So it's like you got to make sure like it's very appealing to everything.
It can look like crap and not taste like crap.
Right, or it tastes like salt and peppers on it. Like, so that's it. So
you tell us about the Urban Chic apron collection.
So the Urban Chic apron collection, I know, like Apron Chic. That's a passion project of mine that I worked on about 4 years ago when I started doing different food demonstrations and whatever the case may be. I never liked wearing chef jackets, and then when I wanted to find like an apron that represented me, they were all like old school. They looked like floral print and just something that wasn't reflective of who I was as an individual. So I designed an apron with my branding of like purple and leopard, and I would wear that to my events, and I started getting a lot of like feedback from it. So like, hey, it may be onto something. So I decided to design cocktail dress inspired aprons that look like a cocktail dress in the front, and then in the back, not no dress, but just ties in the back of the neck. So that's something that has been on pause for the last 2 years, but this year I've been in an entrepreneurial cohort that's really helping me get to that space I need to be at. So my goal for that is to launch in this fall. So
I like how it looks too. It's like it's really.
It looks like a cocktail dress, for real.
Yeah.
Until you turn around.
I bet don't turn around, especially when you're cooking for me. Just keep your face before.
What's the best advice you've had so far doing Black Girls cook? Yeah.
Let's see. That's a good one. I remember being at Labs City last year, and Marcus Samuelson was just pretty much saying, like, you just definitely need to make sure that you have people who are strong in the areas you really need to be excelling. So I'm not good in business. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure somebody is really good in accounting and business. And if I don't really have a lot of experience in marketing and branding and all of that, to make sure I have somebody that's on my team that really knows how to do that. So that's one piece of valuable advice that I've gotten from it. And then one of my other mentors told me before, like, don't reinvent the wheel, just put rims on it. So don't try to take something and try to start from ground one and build it up. Figure out where I fit into it, and then just build on top of that.
Throw some D's on that. What's the best advice you have for young that you try to impart in these little girls, that you have in your program? Or girls who are watching right now. Yeah.
Anybody, I would just say, like, don't give up. I mean, I'm the type of person, I would say I've experienced a lot in my lifetime, and I might have my goal, okay, in this time frame, I'm going to do this, and this may happen, but then some curveball may come in where I would feel the average individual may feel really defeated, but I know that I'm getting thrown this because I can take care of it. So I never try to let something like deter me from getting to where I need to be. So regardless, if whatever goal you have and you feel like you're working hard, and something or someone is always like tearing you down, or you busting your butt to go to work every day and you're not getting that promotion, don't give up. I mean, it's going to work its way out at some point. Just always be optimistic about it.
So I'm just curious, what's the craziest you've done outside of American food cooking? Is there, you cook like other food?
Love
travel food, not the typical like roti Mediterranean stuff like.
No, I mean, like, for me, it's very Americanized. Like, Caribbean stuff is Americanized. One of my goals that I told someone like for my birthday back in April, I was like, for my 40th in a few years.
I was doing
I want to do like a culinary trip around the world.
Hold on, time about. In a few years,
Yes.
you in your 30s right now.
Yes, I am.
They said black don't crack unless you do it. That's a picture trending right now. Halle Berry and Gabrielle Union and some white lady. She's like 51, and they're putting her in,
side by side.
Yeah. I forget her name, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, black doesn't crack.
Unless you do it.
I always get like mid-20s. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to travel around the globe and try different cuisines. Because I mean, like, there's so many things that's Americanized, and you go somewhere else and it's like, it's not that way. I remember watching something on YouTube a few weeks ago, and they was talking about traditional sushi, and we're eating it the wrong way here. Like, even with like dipped in soy sauce, they don't do that there. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm gonna go there and think I'm doing it up. I'm like,
Dang.
You're not accepting spring, summer 2018 applications?
Not no more. We
Not no
started
more?
the 5th.
Oh.
Our class for that.
dang.
I need to update that. Thank you. Thanks for calling me out on it.
You're welcome.
Cinco de Mayo is when our class for that program started.
My birthday.
Oh, happy belated.
Yeah.
So you're a Taurus.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know.
You're a Taurus.
Okay.
I'm a Taurus.
Oh my!
I don't know.
People
I'm
you
just
like,
happy to be
like
here.
zodiac signs, man. I'm not trying to knock anything, but it's how dumb it be. You wake up, you check it. They say, "Oh, the sun is gonna shine today." People be like, "Yay!" They're like, fam, like they saying this ain't the obvious.
Right.
Yeah.
Some
believe
people
in
really
what you
stick to it.
believe.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Hey.
To each his own.
For real. What do you got coming up other than saying like spring registration that is closed right now that people should be looking out for?
So we have our second annual BGC Pharmacue. That's like a dope play on words. We're going to be at White Lock Community Garden on Saturday, June the 30th. I think that's the last Saturday of June. And it's going to be like a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of garden workshops. Next nutritionist, she's going to be doing something with us. DJ, kids cooking competition. Just a whole lot of fun at an urban garden. And we're going to put some stuff on the grill. Have fun.
Make sure I come out to that.
Yeah.
Of
The
course, I'll
most
send you an
important
invite.
thing a girl can wear is confidence.
Exactly.
Break that down.
I feel like a lot of times for me, okay, let's back this up. Now, I said initially the culinary industry is very male dominated. But for me, a lot of the advice that I have gotten in my career have came from guys, which is weird because I would see other female chefs doing stuff and we meet them like, oh, I would love to like pick your brain and see how this worked out for you. Oh yeah, sure, exchange information. Well, when you reach out to them, they don't return your calls or your texts or your emails. So for me, I'm like, okay, it's and I think that's a lot of industries as well, but I think it's enough going around for everybody to have a piece of it. And I think that for some people who aren't as strong as I am, they may feel it as a sense of defeat and maybe like, okay, maybe I'm not cut out for this. And they might go the opposite direction. So for girls, I want them to know like, okay, the sky is the limit. The sky is more than the limit. Like you should go and excel any way you want to, and you got to be confident. You got to give girls confidence and let them know, okay, you're gorgeous. Make them have high self-esteem, because again, you don't know what's happening behind closed doors. You don't know what their upbringing is and their mindset. Like I said, if I can make a girl feel like a queen once a week because they're in my program around like-minded girls and they see other women that's doing it and they can achieve it as well, I'm serving my purpose.
What's success to you?
Success is having the same girls want to keep coming back. I wanted to have somebody come today. That didn't work out. But success for me is seeing that I have girls that was with me maybe 2 years ago coming now. When new girls come into the program, they're like mentors to them. They're very confident. Like you can really tell when someone has a sense of confidence. They like hold their hair up high, even if they feel like they're doing something wrong. They don't feel like they're being defeated. So watching girls who have grown from when I met them 2 years ago to now and see how they're excelling and how it's even transpiring to how they operate in school is like amazing to me.
Right. Man. How can people follow you on social?
I'm sorry?
How can people reach out to you?
Okay.
How can people follow you?
My Instagram is the Urban Chic Chef, and Black Girls Cook's Instagram is Black Girls Cook Inc.
Follow, man. Get involved. Sign up your daughters and sons, and everything.
Come to the barbecue next month.
Next month, yeah.
The website is blackgirlscook.org.
Yes.
Yeah, we've had the pleasure of speaking with Nichole Adriane Mooney, their founder.
Nichole and H. So one of you spelled my name wrong.
Where?
You ain't gotta say that on the air, man. Oh, it's an email.
I'm very particular about that. It's an H in my name.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
No disrespect. She is the founder of Urban Chic Chef and the executive director and founder of Black Girls Cook, the nonprofit organization that teaches inner city teen girls the importance of food preparation, cooking, food hygiene, healthy eating. Thank you so much for kicking with us, yo.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Sponsorship, bro.
Hey.
Pay them bills, man. Pay them bills.
Yeah, man. Like, listen, bro. Like, if you check out Stuck in the Middle, right, and especially all the entrepreneurs that we've had on here, please, help us help you. You feel me? Hit up Perfect Office Solutions, and we thank them so much for sponsoring the podcast on a weekly basis. And tell them we sent you. Just get you a dope, nice space. When people say, "Yeah, I'm about to come to you," say, "Come meet me in my office." They're gonna be like, "Man, I respect this person." So let them know we sent you. Get that, saying 10% off, and put some money in our pockets. Yeah, and we are welcoming sponsorships too. So hit us up. Let them know we can how we can work that out. Yeah. Yes, sir. How can they reach us?
SITM Podcast on every platform. Like our Facebook page, SITM Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, SITM Podcast too. Email us with referral questions, concerns at sitmpodcast237@gmail.com. Next week, we're going to be sitting down with Tatiana Chautu, CEO of Health Up with Tatiana, an inspiring and empowering African woman striving for optimal health and wellness through proper dieting, exercising, stress management.
Yeah, it's like a health, back-to-back week.
Yeah.
What I love about it is, saying like Nichole is like, and I'm not trying to put no divided American side of what Tatiana is doing, and I'm really looking forward to it. She has an awesome platform, and it's really dope.
Yeah,
looking forward
definitely.
To it. Sir,
thank you for kicking with us.
Thanks for having me.
We learned a lot. Hey, all them, your kids, girls, only girls, right?
Yeah, man. Black Girls Cook, bruh.
I'm hurt.
Ages 9 through 14.
You heard? You trying to put Ashley through it?
Trying to put my little man on there.
9 through
14.
9 through 14, yeah. If you your daughter 9 through 14, you know the importance of healthy eating. Also
because the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Yeah. And also too, obesity is something that we're trying to limit out here in the Western world. So definitely, start training your kids, at the right age. How about pass them on to Nichole, and
she's gonna take good care of them.
Yeah, definitely.
She like, hey, yo, thank you for coming through. I always
Thanks for
thank
having
people.
me.
Yeah.
Hey, Stuck in the Middle podcast.
We out.